Hi there. So today I wanted to talk to you about what to do when your child is struggling with a specific academic area or a skill or just anything in life. So to begin with, I like to try and discover the root, the why. And in order to get an idea of what might be standing in the way for your child to move forward, you will want to take some time to examine some of the specifics. I'm talking about like the when, what, what is it they're struggling with? Is there a specific where? Is there a who? There might be a lot of different pieces and parts to your child's struggle. But your goal is to try and understand what's causing your child's difficulties and come alongside him or her to help. And you've already probably figured out that trying to force or push ahead usually only makes matters worse and causes frustration for you, frustration for your child. So my first step, I would encourage you to just step back for a time. Don't be afraid to lay subject or the task aside for a bit. Focus on other learning activities, things that they're enjoying, finding success with. This will allow everybody, especially your child, to decompress and release some anxiety they might be feeling around their struggle. This is an opportunity for you to also step back and just kind of observe and reflect and even write down. Like I would say, write down your observations in a notebook on a piece of paper. This is going to give you space to pray, to allow the Holy Spirit to show you some things. And this stepping back can really go a long way. More likely, it's going to bring you a new perspective, a new way of looking at this struggle. You're going to look for clues. You might ask your child, depending on their age. You might actually consider, is my child developmentally ready for what I'm asking them to do? Years ago, I read about boys, that sometimes boys, now that sounds kind of, I don't know, maybe not fair or whatever, but that boys struggling to read, when given some extra time, some time to develop for developmentally to like get ready to read, they were up to like reading equal to the peers that learn to read early in life, or at the time we usually think of like 5 or 6. But let's say someone doesn't read until age 10, right? And then all of a sudden something clicked. And a lot of times they caught up very quickly. That doesn't always happen, but just stepping back may give a little bit of space for that to happen. So there may be like learning gaps that need to be addressed before your child is ready for the new skill. So stepping back and observing, getting some thoughts on paper, you might see that you need to kind of maybe go to the previous skill. Make sure that is, especially in math, a lot of times math, there'll be gaps, right? Learning styles might play into this situation. How does your child learn best? Do they learn by doing? Do they learn by hearing? Do they learn by seeing? Maybe it's the curriculum. Like, for example, if you have a child that's very auditory and maybe your curriculum is extremely visually supported, or it's presented in a highly visual, and maybe there isn't a lot of auditory. So sometimes it can just be as simple as changing the curriculum. But I want you to remember that your curriculum is just a tool, one tool in your tool belt. And it isn't something that you have to be married to. I actually had a mom come to me and say that her daughter was struggling in math. And in fact, I helped for a time to tutor. But what actually worked was when I did a little bit of research and I said, hey, check out this curriculum. What do you think about that? And actually, now her daughter is loving math, succeeding at math. And it was all about just changing the curriculum because it was presented in a different way that better matched her daughter's learning style. So anyway, so if you're feeling like the curriculum that you've chosen may be the problem, don't be afraid to try something new. Maybe let your child have more control over the daily schedule, what they do, when they do it. It's actually amazing how much more engaged children can feel when they feel, or can be when they feel like they have some choice in the situation. I have another homeschool mom that her children completely are in control of when they do what subjects, and they have to put it down on paper, right? But they're creating their own plan, and those children have been so much more efficient, more on task, and are getting more learning done. Anyway, so it's just a thought. If it's a specific subject that maybe they're struggling in, you can allow them to choose whether they do that first. That's probably where I would first lean. It might make sense to do that first when they're fresh. But again, maybe they want to do it a completely another time of day, another space in their day. If you can give them some control over that may help. If you allow for breaks and rhythms to be creative, this allows everyone to have space in their day. So if engagement of the child is kind of the concern, you might consider adding some interactive learning methods, some field trips, some hands-on activities, some life experiences. You could even take a mini staycation where you maybe take a couple of days and just get away from the house. It will do wonders to clear everybody's head. At least I found that to be true when I was a homeschool mom. I just want you to remember, be flexible. Homeschooling can be stressful, and it's okay when your child isn't as productive as you might like all the time. Homeschooling is a journey that requires God's grace for you and your children. You might plan some learning activities with other children or another family or two. I want you to try to begin to embrace learning as a lifestyle and not completely separate from all the rest of your life. Developing teamwork among your children and sowing the mindset that we're in this all together, with each of us bringing our own different gifts to the table. Even the whole idea of that there are some things that you are better at than others. And just even like talking a bit about that will help a child feel more confident and feel okay when they maybe are experiencing a struggle in one area, and yet there are other things that they do they're having no problems with, and they're doing well. I could not have homeschooled 4 children from start to finish without support and connection. And this is where I like to come in. So first, if you are not yet a member of my Legacy Homeschool Facebook group, or you know a mom that might benefit from being a member, I've included a link in this email. So please sign up. It's free. Second, I am here to help you now and anytime throughout the year. I've thrown a lot of thoughts into this video just kind of randomly to get you to thinking, and it might seem like a little overwhelming, but it's a taste of some of the ideas that I like to bring to the table. With a summer consult, it's a relaxed time where we can just sit back and talk about what's going on in your home, what's going on in your homeschool. What are your concerns? What are your things that you're really feeling good about, right? It's just my heart to really make that personalized and individualized with what you need, and to bring much value to our time together so that you go away feeling supported and go away with a plan, go away with a bucket of ideas to try out, So I'm hoping that you are beginning to see the value of sitting down for an hour or two to wrap up your year. Maybe do some problem solving as well as celebrating all the great things that are happening in your home. If you do see that value, then I encourage you to reach out this week, get a date on the calendar. If you schedule before midnight this Friday, June 28th, if you get a time slot on the calendar by then, you will receive 20% off my usual consultation fee. So with that, I want to say, I hope to see you soon.